guys, I hope you had a really Merry Christmas. So it is still all hands on deck here, and I am trying to get these videos with the Matryoshkas finished. I have a couple of videos that I want to do, just a wrap up advent calendar one and a 2020 favourite watercolours one before the end of the year. So I'm going to try and motor through these Matryoshka videos to get those two videos done so we can get on to the swatching and some other exciting things next week. So of course you can follow along at your own pace, but I wanted to get the Matryoshkas finished so I can put this kind of little booklet of Matryoshkas will be in my December daily for the 12 days of Christmas. So I want to get that done and get the December daily finished as well. So let's talk a little bit about this one, and the other two videos I sped a lot of things up, so it took me about an hour's worth of footage, I guess, to get through those videos, and then I sped a lot of it up. This one I'm just doing the same kind of 20-minute video, but it's all smaller snippets of real time, so you get more of a feeling of how I'm doing it in real time. So I think between this video and the first video where I go over a lot of techniques as well, you should have enough information of kind of how I am doing them. And then for the next videos, I think I'll just put them to music, and some of the little ones I'll condense into just one video, and we should be right to go. So obviously you can draw your own Matryoshkas, but I have put a PDF of the ones I'm using in my Etsy shop, and I will link that below as well. And I've really enjoyed making these, so pretty much all last week I was sketching them out and getting them organized on the computer and everything, and this week will have been like painting them, and it's been a real pleasure. And you can see here that I have done a few little changes as well, so that's one of the things when you sketch them you can change things around. On the one we're doing tomorrow, I didn't sketch the whole eye, I just did the eyelid and the eyelashes, and so you can do that with some of them as well if you're having a hard time with the full eye, or you can also sketch out the face just several times and practice faces. So I really enjoy this because you are able to practice faces, color mixing, glazing, washes, and all those kinds of things. So it's a really fun way to do a lot of that. So at this point I have traced everything out. You can see in the first video I just traced it on my window, and then we go in with the colors. So I'm trying to do a color progression. So the first one was pink, the second one was red. I'm doing this one as a kind of pastel purples. So for the top here I'm using the Sugilite and pearlescent white mix from Daniel Smith that I have in my palette, and I really love this color and the mix. It's such a beautiful soft color. It creates such a dreamy quality to the painting. So no matter sort of where you put it in the painting, it really lends itself to that sort of evening sky, really pretty sort of unusual color. And then here I am using the pale wisteria from, this is a Turner Artist watercolor. So for both of these you could use basically a violet or a purple or an ultramarine violet that you have, mix one with pearl white and one with white. You can see here, so this is the Turner Artist Pale Wisteria, and it is a little harder to re-wet, and that's the reason I really love the Grumbacher Titanium White, because it's so creamy to re-wet. So anything you mix it with, it's going to be really easily and readily available. Some things I don't mind waiting for them to re-wet and to reactivate, but with the white I find if it's harder to re-wet it becomes almost a bit chalky, so that's the reason I really like one that's already creamy. So I have this one, I do love the color, so next time, once this is finished, I will probably just mix my own. So I just used the Pacific Lagoon by Paint and Paper Studio. So I really wanted to, I had this colorscape in mind, and I've really loved how it's turned out. So they're all very pale colours. I do add some like darker bronze in to deepen it up a little bit, but I really love these pale colours and really just the softness of the contrast. It's almost inaudible and you kind of have to listen to the painting more or look for it more, so I really enjoy that. And they sort of just very calming and beautiful palette. So with all of the Matryoshkas, I'm using the Chinabreser for the face. So this is a Wallace & Seymour colour that I really love. And I do have a video about this palette and all the links and everything where to get it. I think I get mine from Fine Art Store. I believe. I'll see if I can find it and link it below, or Select Fine Arts, it might be Select Fine Arts. And yeah, they have a really nice range of the Wallace & Seymour, and this is one that I really love. So it is in my 2020 top favorites. And then I'm using let's see, it's a Daniel Smith yellow iron oxide for the hair. Now that's because this is the one that's in this palette, so you know, use whatever you have in your palette that seems close, or that seems you know, you might be able to mix a couple of things in your palette to get a similar color. The other thing is you can also use different mediums that you have. So if you have a lot of embossing powder and you want to add that on like the edges instead of the glitter paint, or if you want to add actual glitter, or if you want to you know, use any other supplies that you have. So even for like the face here, you can see like I am being very careful to avoid like the highlights in the eyes, and I draw those in later, but if you have, you know, pencils that you want to use for the facial features, you can do that as well. So, you know, be open to kind of the favorite supplies that you enjoy using. You don't have to use exactly what I'm using. And you can see there I'm rinsing my brush out because I feel like the color is a little bit too dense, too dark. So that's one thing that I show you a little bit more through this video, that you can I like to, if I get color and I think that it's going to be too dark, I brush a little bit off on my palette, or I will rinse a little bit out in water before I start to apply it to the painting. And then here I'm rinsing off my brush, I dry it on a cloth, and then I go in to soften this out. And the other thing I wanted to mention was skin color too. So you can do any skin color that you want. I was thinking about doing a darker skin tone for this girl, but I think I will do that in a couple of the ones coming up. So, you know, you can enjoy mixing all different types of skin tones and, you know, eye colors, lip colors, you know, different sort of makeup palettes for these as well. Okay, so you can see that I didn't draw the eyes in it on camera, but I'm kind of trying to show you what I did there. So because they're getting smaller, it's actually harder to do. So I just did the same thing. I did the top of the eye and then moved down the eye. So the two little circles for the highlights, the sides of the iris, the bottom lid, and then I actually did some inner sort of the inner portion of the eye as well on this one, which I don't think I did on the first one that I showed you. And again, you can, if you're having trouble with the eyes, you can just practice a whole bunch of eyes on the page as well. So yeah, and then now I am just getting the rose gold, I think, and I am going around and you can see here that I turn the page so that I can get a nice smooth, you can see how slowly I'm doing it, but I'm trying to do just a nice smooth transition on that line. So one of the other things I wanted to mention is that before I put the outlines in, I always do make sure that all of the shadows and all the work is done. So all the glazing and any layers that I wanted to do on the doll is put in most of that before I, sorry the posie's here, most of that before I put the outlines on. So you can see that I did put a little bit of the bronze in after I had done the outline, but generally speaking that's the way you want to work. So you want to finish with the, you know, like the same with the eyes, you put any work on, you know, to build the layers, and then you can see there I'm getting rid of some of the hematite violet that I'm using. So I used the cobalt violet for some roses in the middle and the hematite violet for the stems and the leaves here. So I'm just creating, and again this is a really nice space for you to create any little extra, you know, just any little tiny paintings that you're thinking of that you want to try out. This is a great place to try them out, or little colour schemes that you're thinking of. And also I tried to make the frames in the middle so that, you know, when we do some upcoming frame work, you've already got a little bit of a base, and you can, you know, use those frames from the middle of the Matryoshkas for your journal pages for other things as well. And then I guess the other thing is I suppose, using more of an analogous colour palette here, so colours that are similar or next to each other on the colour wheels. I think for the green one I sort of use some complementary colours, or at least more earthy browns that are sort of opposite to the Fuchsite and the green gold. But for a lot of them I'm just using, you know, like this one, it's the iridescent blue purple, the light pearlescent purple and a light purple, and then the cobalt violet as well. So, and then also even the blue John is the deeper sort of blue purple that I used, and I did use the smalt in the eyes in a really light way, so that's also a blue leaning purple, purple leaning blue. So you can, you know, create these color palettes any way that you like, and it's just again a fun way to try out different colors that you're thinking of. You know, I have the one pattern in the shawl that I really like to do, so it's the sort of curve one way, curve another way, and then like a little water droplet in between. But again, you can practice any types of, you might like just to do polka dots, stripes, diamonds. You can practice any patterns that you like. And you can see here for the lips and the cheeks, I've also done soft colours again. So for the lips, I did the Potter's Pink and Pearl White mix, the kind of pink champagne mix that I really love. And then for the cheeks, I just used the Chinabrese again, so just tone on tone, but it's a deeper glaze. So okay, so I am cutting this out, and this is the first time we're going to see the Matryoshkas actually put together in the little card booklet. So my sister actually came the other day and said, why don't you punch a hole in the bottom of them and put a ring through them so that they can be sort of flip out and, you know, be together like that. And so I've taken that idea and I am putting them together in the card here with a star brad on the bottom of them, and then they can sort of flip out, and the vintage label on the side actually comes in handy as kind of a little pull tab. And speaking of my sister's idea, here she is, she heard me.
Hi, I'm the sister that came in handy.
Thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
Thanks for your ideas. Also.
Anytime.
She's my idea person. Really, the whole manager of the whole thing.
Yeah, I just wanted to know when I was getting my cut money.
Oh, okay, so let's see. Okay, so I'm sure you're familiar with a brad, but it's just a little tiny metal thing with some hooks or like some levers, and then you push it through, and then you can just fold those back and it holds the paper in place, but you can still kind of move the paper. So I've just punched a hole there. I just used a metal fountain pen from Barnes & Noble that I had here, but I couldn't find my awl. But you just need something to poke the hole there, and you can use like a little thumbtack as well. And yeah, I'm really loving how this is turning out, and I've already filmed the next two girls to put in here, so they've come out really nice. I'm really loving this whole thing. So I think that other people would enjoy this, like if you have the printable and you wanted to print them out for multiple people, if you're, you know, doing something at the minute. I think it's a really fun activity. So this is the next one we're going to work on. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I also wanted to let you know I have had so many requests for playlists, and in the next couple of weeks that'll be something that I will work on doing for you as well. So yeah, I hope you've all had a lovely Christmas and a lovely weekend, and I hope that you have a relaxing week, and I will see you guys probably later on today. Bye.